What's happening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Final Third. And let me be the first to say, God, I've missed my boys. It's been a week. I'm not used to going without talking with you guys for, more than 3 or 4 days, and finally we're back. I've been to England. My friend had his bachelor party, but now we're back stateside and we're ready to chat shit up. So how are we doing, gentlemen? How are we doing?
Sam, I got to ask you a question. First I'll say when I go like to Mississippi or go to Alabama and I come back, I got a real strong accent, right? Most of my parents have real strong accents. When you go to England, you come back, do you think your accent becomes like much stronger when you get back?
So when I come back, not so much, but when I'm there, so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like I tweeted about this because it caught me off guard. But when I landed in Manchester Airport and somebody coughed vaguely loudly next to me, I said out loud, "Bloody hell." Sometimes I genuinely forget how English I actually am, because not consciously, but I like certain words that I choose. Like I say soccer when I'm in America, I say soccer. That's just like, it's normal.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that, I just kind of, even though I sound very English, I adjust my word choices. But when I'm in England, whatever filter, conscious or unconscious, is there for Americans is just completely gone, and it catches me off guard. And it's a lot of fun, honestly. It's nice. I mean, we went to so many pubs, like, this bachelor party was brilliant. I mean, and also buying, like, the concept of buying around doesn't really exist in America. Like, I feel like everyone just kind of pays for their own stuff unless you're in like a really chill friend group where someone's like, "Oh, I've got this one, get me back later." But in England, it's just so easy. You buy a round, someone else buys the next round, and then once you buy a round, you're basically done for the night. Anyway, long story short, I bought a round of 6 tequila shots, and it was £17, which is like $20. And
I was gonna say it had to be cheaper
compared to Manhattan prices. I mean, that is literally like less than half.
You get one shot.
So
you get one shot for that.
I spent a lot less money than I thought I was going to, which is always a win. And yeah, it's good to be back. The wedding's in a few weeks' time, but the bachelor party was a lot of fun. And I'm happy to be back. Kind of bummed I missed the Madrid game, though. I was in the air on my plane home, and I feel like I missed an absolute banger. So talk me through that, boys, because you guys were stateside. You guys were betting that as it was going on. So talk me through that Madrid game, because that Champions League game looked like a fantastic one, and I'm kind of bummed that I missed it.
I'm going to let the Madrid guy have the floor on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a banger. As expected. I didn't think it was going to be easy. But yeah, it started. It was just the first half was kind of, I felt like each team were feeling each other out. Bayern kind of hung on to possession for a while, and Madrid just had that one Toni Kroos master class dime of a pass to Vinny. And that's really all they needed to find that opening goal. And then second half, Bayern just came out guns blazing, 2 quick ones to get the lead back, and then Vinny with a penalty late to draw level. It was what you expected from Bayern and Madrid, just in class. I'm excited for the second leg. I'm glad it's in Spain. Definitely glad it's in Spain. I feel like Madrid definitely had the advantage with that. But yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was so fun to watch.
Can I just say, Toni Kroos, I think, is an absolute madman. Like, I mentioned in my video covering the game, I was like, by the way, guys, like, in case you haven't been watching soccer for a long time, Toni Kroos used to play for Bayern, and he played for them for like several years. So him coming back to this stadium is a big deal. And then Toni Kroos in his post-match interview was just like, my pass to Vinny wasn't that good. Vinny made that. And then when he was asked about going back to Germany, he was just like, "Yeah, it's been a while since I played for Bayern. It felt like another away game with Madrid." And I was just like, dude, this guy's fucking ice cold.
He is. He's a freaking animal. Yeah, I love him. Just an animal.
So
game
cool.
that game was just like showed you how much class Real Madrid has. Like they are so good. And I was just thinking like next year when they get Mbappe, is just gonna be literally unfair. I was
Yeah.
like when I was watching them play that match, because Bayern played really well. Like I didn't think Bayern played bad at all. I was like, man, what's their price gonna be for Champions League next year? Assuming they could keep the core of the team together when they add Mbappe. Like, God, I would bet it. I'd bet it. I mean, what were they? 18-1 at the beginning? Oh no, 13-1 at the beginning of this Champions League.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
Yeah, around there. City opened at around 2-1. Madrid. Yeah, I
It
put
was
them in
like I
around.
think like Bayern. I think Bayern, PSG, and City, and someone else were all ahead of Madrid.
they were. I remember Oaks telling me about it because he told me we like went on vacation and he was like telling me, dude, I just bet on Madrid like this before Champions League. So I
Yeah.
think it was like 12 or 13-1.
I think so. Although that being said, I still think they were like the third or fourth favorite. It was just that City was so much of a favorite at like 2-1 opening
Yeah,
that everyone else had like such long odds as a result. Like, like let's we'll give Madrid a bit of respect. They still got like crazy odds on them, but let's not beat around the bush. They were still like the third favorite to win this thing. It was, yeah, but Bayern were ahead of them, which now.
yeah,
To be fair, when this market opened, we had no idea that Leverkusen were going to be an absolute fucking wagon this year. We didn't know that. But it was like, yeah, it was like City, Bayern, Madrid, Arsenal, I believe were the top four to win the Champions League. And it was like City
it
at
was.
plus 200, Bayern at like plus 700, plus 800. Madrid were in that floating like plus 900 to plus 1300, depending on where you got them. But yeah, I mean, honestly, going into the season, anything above like 700 or 800 for Madrid is incredibly bettable just because they have like, I know everyone jokes about like the dark arts, but Madrid have like proper Champions League dark arts magic.
they do.
It does not matter. And I love Thierry Henry as an Arsenal fan. That goes without saying. But when I'm watching the CBS broadcast, Henry is one of like the few guys that really cuts through a lot of the bullshit. Like I love Mika Richards just fucking around having fun, but he usually doesn't have like that much like smart to say. Carragher is like half the time biased towards Liverpool, but Henry, because they always try and bait Henry into like saying something about Arsenal that they can like get him back for later. Like they were always like, oh, who would Arsenal prefer in like the semi-finals? And he was just like, we haven't beaten Bayern yet, like a smart guy would say.
Yeah.
And he basically said about Madrid, which is somehow controversial. I don't understand how people don't get this, but he was just like, when you play Madrid in Champions League, it does not matter if you have more chances, if you have more shots, if you have more possession, if you have more shots on goal. If you don't take your chances, Madrid will. So it does not matter if you dominate them in those stats, because if they get chances, they will score. So all you have to do to beat them is convert your chances. And if you don't do that, you do not deserve to win. And it's just like, so like, I don't get how people don't get that. Everyone says,
I've heard it for the past 2 rounds. I mean, my DMs are
3
just
years
flooded
at
with
least.
people. I mean, this year, my DMs just flooded with people that are like, you're the luckiest squad. You don't deserve to be in this position. You shouldn't have beat City. City's better. Byron's better. They dominated possession. They had more chance. I'm like, they didn't win.
Then win the fucking
Madrid
game.
won. I mean, Madrid don't need a lot of chances. That's the thing. Like they're so skilled. They're so skilled. They have so much speed that they'll sit back. They'll let you hold on to the possession, and then they're just going to counter you and they're going to beat you.
Yeah.
And if you don't capitalize on, like you said, if you don't capitalize on the chances that you do get, it's gonna be tough sledding. And it's crazy because like even when Bayern came out in the second half and scored the 2 quick ones and they went up 2-1, I was just like in my head thinking like Madrid's gonna get another one. Like they're just going to. Like I just felt it. Like I'm like this game's gonna end 2-2. They're gonna get another one. And then you got the penalty. But yeah, it was just. I don't know. I just feel like this Madrid team, like it just doesn't matter. Like it just feels like this year it doesn't matter if they go down a goal, they're gonna score. They're gonna like they can just turn it on at any time.
And what's crazy is like it's not just in Champions League. Like it was in the league this season as well. Like you would watch them like in matches where it felt like they didn't care or weren't trying, and then you would look at the end of the game, and you'd be like, how did Madrid win that? You know, it's like crazy.
I know, and Kimmich said it too, and like you can really tell by how people like handle their post-match interviews or their analysis of a game, like how much they know ball. Like Henry was very much like, oh, take your chance against Madrid, because if you don't, Madrid will beat you. And Kimmich was just like, you can't say that Madrid have been lucky because they keep doing it. He was just like, if you look at their runs, like even over just the past couple of years, like I think a couple of years ago when they won the Champions League, when they beat Liverpool in the final, every game in the knockouts that on their way to the final, they were losing in. Like I think they played Chelsea, I think they played PSG. I forget who they played.
City. They played City. That was a City game.
Famously, they played City. That's when Rodrigo scored those two goals at a time.
And even in that final against Liverpool dominated. I think Courtois had like 10 saves in that game or something.
Courtois had the most saves in the history of the Champions League final.
Yeah.
And it was one opportunity that Madrid got where Valverde to Vinny, and that was it. That's all they needed. And then they Liverpool couldn't capitalize on any of the other chances.
It was such a cool game, and I'm kind of bummed because I was in England for that game, so my betting options were limited. But I was staying with my family, and I really wanted to just like dip out, go to the local bookie on like the main road, and just play. I had two bets that I was going to place. It was Madrid.
Sam said he was itching.
I was itching, and I'm really annoyed because the two bets I had planned for that final. It was Madrid to lift the trophy and Vinny to score a goal, and that was it. That was the only thing that happened. And I was so bummed because I just couldn't get away. But I was like, look, I'm spending time with my family, so fair enough. I'm not going to like make up a fake excuse to like dip out of dinner to place money on a bet, because like at that point maybe you have a problem. But I was just like, those are the two bets I wanted to make, and I couldn't make them. And then I was watching the final with my family. And like, to be clear, even though my family and my parents, like we like that generation as Arsenal fans, my grandparents, my granddad, who is dead now, but my granddad, when he moved to England from Hungary, became a Liverpool fan. So my granddad and my grandma are Liverpool fans. So like this game, like had stakes. Like I was going to bet against Liverpool on Madrid, and I didn't have a chance to do it. So fair enough, like I didn't lose any money. So like hands in the air, it was just bets I wanted to make and couldn't make. So I'm not like too fussed about it, but it was definitely a Liverpool household that particular night. And I was just like, wish I could have done it. But, it is what it is. But I still don't understand how years later we're still having these conversations about Madrid, quote unquote, being lucky. It's just like, no. Do you know how easy it is to make your chances? I swear, if Chelsea took their chances, if City took their chances, if City took their chances in several years, 2 years ago, this year, like if Leipzig, like let's not forget the round of 16, like Danny Olmo hit the post, like Leipzig had chances against Madrid. Like if you take your chances against Madrid, you've got a good chance. But it just like everyone shits the bed, and then Madrid finishes their like two of their three shots on target in the game turn into goals, and everyone says, "Oh, you got lucky." And it's just like, no. They're just prepared for big moments because they play in big moments every fucking year. So, I don't know. It pisses me off. And I'm not even a fucking Madrid fan. Could you imagine how passionate I would be if I actually supported Madrid? I support Arsenal. Like I've been over Arsenal's loss for like weeks now. I got over that shit the day it happened. But I'm not over people slandering Madrid because they come up with the most like despicable, illogical, nonsensical bullshit.
I mean, it's mostly either City fans, Barcelona fans, or Messi fans. Like those are the three types of people that are in my DMs just slandering Madrid every single day.
Absolutely. You see the comments and you check the profile picture and it's either Haaland or Messi, and you're just like,
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, go figure. Yeah.
And it's annoying as well because I like when it comes to Messi and Ronaldo debates, I still think like I think Messi clears Ronaldo. Like that's not even up for debate. And then it just pisses me off when some of those Messi fans, I see you looking at me funny. It's not even close. Don't even. Well, we can have that debate later, but like I'm just saying, I don't think it's close. Then I have to shut down these stupid Messi fans who are just not even thinking straight. It is what it is. We should probably talk about the other semi-final, Dortmund against PSG. As someone who's sitting on a fairly sizable Dortmund Champions League future, I'm pissed at Füllkrug personally because that game should be 2 or 3-0 to Dortmund right now.
Oh,
And the fact
easily.
that it's only 1-0 is really pissing me off, and we have to go back to France at just a 1-0.
Talk about missing chances.
What do we think about that game? Because that was a great game, considering only 1 goal was scored. That was fucking electrifying game.
That game was great. I thought that PSG didn't have that sense of urgency, but then with no away goals, they don't need that sense of urgency, right? They win the next game 2-1, and they're chilling. They're gonna go play in extra time and win it in extra time. They win it 3-1. They don't care,
Yeah.
Like everything was just so slow. Like PSG didn't load up one side when they bring in 2 to Mbappe. It was just bad all around, but I really genuinely felt like they didn't care. Like they were like, obviously they cared. They wanted to get a result, but it's not like the end of the world. And that's what it felt like to me. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah, the first half was, I don't know, it was tough to watch PSG. They just looked flat. They looked uninspired. They just didn't look like they really cared to be there. Second half, they clearly turned it on. There was like a span of like 15 to 20 minutes where they absolutely just dominated Dortmund.
Yeah.
But you talk about missed chances. I mean, holy moly, Dortmund missed so many chances. There was that spell where PSG hit the post twice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
Just so many missed chances. I mean, that game should have been 2-1, 3-2 type of match. So I'm excited for the second leg.
Sounds like a guy that bet on their goals in that game.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. So, I mean, I think the second leg is going to be, I got to give it to PSG. I just feel like that first half was a fluke, and the second half was more like them. And I think going back home to France, I think they can handle and take care of business. I really think that just the atmosphere in Germany was just, it electrifies Dortmund. They just, they play different at home.
Even with the yellow jerseys too,
just that yellow wall and everything.
The yellow
it was just
wall,
it's freaking crazy to see, and like that's another reason why I just absolutely love this sport. The fans are just passionate like no other. Like there's no other sport that does that. And I think it just, obviously hypes up Dortmund and kind of takes them to a level that, they don't really play at on the road. So I got to give it to PSG in the second leg here because I just think the second half is what they're able to do. And I don't think they'll miss those chances.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I am sitting on a 45-1 Dortmund future. Brad, I feel like you're sitting on the same future as well.
Yeah, from ESPN bet. I'm heavy on Fanatics. Yeah, Fanatics. I'm heavy on PSG though, so I was like trying to figure out what I was gonna do in this situation. I want PSG to win. I like PSG. I like Mbappe. He's my favorite player. And I think they're going to in France, right? So I didn't do any action. I'll see what I think it's like they have like $100 to win $1,800 on them. So which would be nice.
Must be nice. I wish I could bet $100.
Do you have it to make the final or win?
To win. And I have Mbappe Golden Boot. I don't even know what the race is after Vinny scored 2. Was that puts Vinny at 6?
I'm pretty sure it's between Mbappe and Kane. I will double check.
Yeah, it's between Mbappe and Kane. I just didn't know how close.
He's not close. Kane has 8, Mbappe has 8, and the next player is Griezmann and on 6.
Oh, nice.
Vinny, the next closest is Rodrigo on 5, 3 goals back. That's not that's not happening in a second leg of a semi and a final.
No.
It's between Kane and Mbappe. So if you're sitting on Mbappe, that's you're praying for Madrid to get a result.
Yeah, definitely.
Praying.
That's nice. Well, I know we said the last time we recorded a week ago, we said we were going to see a PSG and Madrid final in this Champions League. Madrid coming into a home leg at 2-2 and PSG going into a home leg 1-0 down. Do we still think that's the final? Personally, yes.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yes, it's a yes for me.
I hope not. As someone sitting on a Dortmund future, I would love it if Dortmund played like full shithousery, park the bus, annoy the shit out of PSG, and pray they don't convert. If Dortmund go through to the final, I have a clean hedge on that future. That means so much to me financially. But failing that, from a betting perspective, PSG against Madrid might be like just one of the best for props bets, for overs, for everything we could possibly want to bet.
Yep.
As a soccer gambler. So if that's the matchup we get, if that's what it costs to sacrifice my future, I'll take that. I mean, like we all saw
we appreciate
Mbappe.
You.
Yeah, we all saw him. We all saw Mbappe for France when he played Argentina in that World Cup final. Like that's the game.
That's literally how I'm thinking of the Champions League final.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm envisioning that same type of energy. It's hard for me to think that though, because I feel like the finals are usually low scoring, which suck.
They are.
Yeah, like I go back to the Liverpool Madrid final where I definitely had the over in that game and probably could have cleared the over if Courtois didn't stand on his head. But I just feel like the finals are always kind of disappointing as far as goals, and they usually go under because I think teams play a little.
The last over was in 2017, and then I remember that 2016 Champions League final with Madrid versus Juventus. That one broke my heart.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Party. I went to the most epic party, like downtown. They threw this party. It was all Madrid fans, and then my little table of Juventus fans. We lose, and then for the rest of the party, all these Madrid fans are buying me shots. They're like, "It's okay,
nice.
We're gonna celebrate anyway." I was like,
I love that. That's great. Yeah. That's exactly what it was like. I went when I graduated high school in 2016. It was the Euros were going on. I think they were actually in France, and I was in Paris with my grandmother, and we went out to a bar to watch it was either the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. Whenever England played Iceland. And that's when England lost to Iceland like 2-1. And it was like that was like the peak of just like England despair before Southgate took over and we actually started playing well. And we got knocked out by Iceland 2-1. And I'm walking home. We're walking back to our hotel from this bar. And I'm in my England shirt. And this guy in this like Italian kit who does not speak English, just like pointed at me and was just like, he like came over to like give me a hug. It was just like he like pointed at like the nearest bar and was just like, let me go buy you a drink, but like in Italian. So like he didn't like say that. He just like pointed at me and just said like motioned a drink. And I was just like, okay, yeah, nice. Like I'm feeling sad right now, but I appreciate the sympathy. So that might be like I think that might be the only like upside of like losing a game when you are outnumbered is the fans that win usually see you and they take pity on you, so they buy you drinks. So.
Yeah, it's the best. it's like the only thing that makes it better. Like if you watch it at home, you're like, "Fuck, this sucks." But then
what do you do?
Yeah, and then the fans are like, "Oh, poor guy. Here are all these free drinks." Especially downtown is expensive,
Yeah. No, that's what happened for the Euro final as well. Sorry, it's rough as an England fan. We've been in so many of these positions. But I was in Newport, Rhode Island with my girlfriend, and we were just like, we got to go find like a place to watch the Euro final between England and Italy. And then poor Saka, who was 18 years old at the time, missed that penalty.
Yep.
I was shitting myself during those pens, and I had brief hope when Pickford saved that Jorginho penalty, because that should have ended it, and then he saved it, and I was like, wow, we have life. And then Saka stepped up and obviously it was saved. And that pub was like mostly English people, and then there were like a few Italians, and that was like a reversal of the situation where the Italians knew they got lucky because all in all England probably should have won that. And they were just like, they saw me. I mean, I was like on the floor. I'm not ashamed to say that I like show my feelings, but like that game is probably like the most like, fuck, it might actually happen. Yeah. And then when it didn't happen, I was on the floor of the bar. I mean, like I was watching the pens on my knees, and then when the game was done, I was on the floor of the bar, like crying my eyes out. At like the age of 22 or 23, like that's like I was like I'm a grown ass man at this point. Let's be honest. And like the Italians were just like, fuck, let's buy this guy a drink. This one seems like he really got upset by this one. But
That's great.
yeah,
us Italians, we know how to take care of you.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice. But enough about the Champions League. Let's talk about this weekend. As I said in our last episode, the other domestic leagues outside of England are essentially wrapped up. I think at this point, I don't think there's a league that's like not wrapped up. I mean, Madrid technically haven't mathematically won, but it's essentially over. PSG have won Ligue 1. Leverkusen have won the Bundesliga. Inter have won Serie A. It's basically done. Outside of the Premier League, which has a title race going on, and we have a relegation battle going on. So, for the sake of, what's happening, we're going to focus on the Premier League because the other leagues are basically done. So, starting on Friday, for a relegation battle, we have Luton against Everton. Now, Everton are safe. Somehow they escaped the relegation drop. They had points deducted this season, but they went on a really good streak. The past couple of games, beating Liverpool, obviously, in a Merseyside derby is a massive one. That's the first time they've beaten Liverpool at Goodison Park since 2010, when Mikel Arteta got on the score sheet. That's how you know it was a long time ago. So Everton are officially safe, but they play Luton at home on Friday, and Luton are 1 point behind Forest. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but in my head, we know that Sheffield are done. I think we can not safely say it, but I think we can probably guess Burnley are probably the other team going down. So really, this third spot is between Nottingham Forest and Luton as to who's going down to the Championship. So how do we feel about this game? Luton at home against Everton.
Man, I don't want to bet on Everton, but Luton just have so many defensive injuries where it just feels like they're gonna concede at least a goal, right? So how many goals are they gonna score? They're gonna have to score at least 2 to win this match. And as bad as Everton are, they are better against bottom clubs. For some reason they're just good at shutting them down. I'd probably play the draw at plus 265. I think this is gonna be a one pointer for both these teams.
Yeah, I don't know. This I mean, obviously Luton need points here. And be nice to get them at home. But Everton have been playing decent of late, I guess you could say. I mean, they've kept clean sheet in 3 straight matches. I don't know. This one's hard. Like I feel like it could be like a 0-0 type game. But like it's a Luton game, so it's like there's really not going to be any goals. Like there's going to be goals, right? And so to me, it feels like maybe you could get both teams to score and over 2.5 at like minus 110, which I think has good value. And you got to feel like if Everton get one early, that Luton's just going to play their aggressive, go for it style at home, and it could really open things up.
I just feel like their defensive injuries is like
Awful.
crazy.
Oh, they have so many injuries.
I wonder what, like, I was like, I can't remember. I handicapped this game and I couldn't remember what I was looking at, but like, I was like, these are nuts. Like these prices, like, as both teams to score was like, my God, I can't even remember the price.
Like minus 180 or something.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because I was thinking of taking that too, because I feel like I was like, all right, maybe it's like a 1-1 game, or like maybe Everton win like 2-1. But yeah, it was like minus 180 for both teams to score.
Yep.
But I just like Everton have been playing good of late. Their defense have been better. I think they held the Bees to under 1 XG. Obviously, they played Liverpool, who just have been so unlucky of late. I think they had like over 2 XG in that game and didn't score.
Unlucky is one word to describe them. My word to describe them would be fucking dog shit.
Yeah, I mean that as well. I mean I can't argue that, And then they played like Forest, I think, who with like a 0.6 XG against Everton. Yeah. So teams aren't getting. I mean, they're not playing great teams. They played Everton, or they played Liverpool, which was their hardest opponent, but they've been keeping teams off the score sheet. Have been playing. It looks like better ball of late. But but you just never know with this Luton side. I mean, the game could get crazy. It could get out of hand.
Yeah. That's what's like it could easily get out of hand. That's kind of like what's fun about like betting them, right? Is like there's no quit in them, not betting them, but betting goals in their matches.
Yeah,
There's no quit in them whatsoever. They're just gonna keep grinding out. There's
especially at home.
attack, attack,
You know,
attack.
like you
Oh
got to
yeah.
think. You got to think like it's going to be so rowdy. Like their fans are going to be so much behind them, with
Yep.
so much on the line. They're not going to want to go down. So I don't know. This one's tough for me because I could really see like a 0-0 game, but I just can't I can't say it's going to be 0-0 when it's a Luton match.
Yep.
And Luton is always a wagon for both
Yeah,
teams to score over 2.5, baby.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I'm leaning.
We'll see. I think it depends how. It might be one to like live bet. You see if you get a goal early. You're like, okay, if there's a goal early, there are going to be goals in this one.
Yeah, I would love to get like both teams to score at a better number live if possible. But I don't know, if it goes that long where you can get like both teams to score like minus 125 or minus 120, I would love that. But like you said, if there's a goal early, it could be craziness.
For sure. Alrighty, the next game I want to talk about is Arsenal against Bournemouth. Now, as much as I like Arsenal here, the odds don't really make sense. I mean, if you can find a way to make it worthwhile, if you want to back Arsenal, then fair enough. If you're looking at maybe Saka, 2 first-half shots, if you're looking at an Arsenal team to deliver 2.5, those are really like the only really attackable lines if you think Arsenal win, because they hit like so often in the event that we win. But outside of that, the money line is like minus 600. So I want to talk about this because it's important. It's part of a title race, and unlike Liverpool, Arsenal are still part of this title race. How are you guys going to approach this one?
I gave out 2 bets in this one, but anybody listening, I would definitely advise only taking one. I took Bournemouth +2. Just the fact of Arsenal having to win by 3 against a Bournemouth team who have only been shut out on the road one time this season, and that was back in October. Totally different Bournemouth team, and they're playing with house money. They're just playing free and easy. They set a club record for points. Now they can just go out there, no stress, no pressure. Arsenal would have to win. Let's say I think Bournemouth score. Arsenal would have to win 4-1, and Arteta just hasn't really been doing that outside of that, like when they needed that kick in the ass early in 2024, where they were whooping teams because they were just producing so bad. But even against Tottenham, they went up 3 and they weren't great that entire match. I also took Arsenal to win and both teams to score. That's my favorite bet. It's +150. I just thought the price was so good. Arsenal win this. I have the exact score as 3-1.
Yeah, I was leaning both teams to score in this one at like minus 110, minus 115, but I don't know. I think I'm going to stay away from it. I could see Arsenal really putting it to them. And this one, like, I feel like it could be like a 4-0 type game. I don't know. I just have that feeling of like Arsenal just really just dominating possession at home, controlling the whole match, like having success, finding chances, burying their chances. They have so much more to play for than Bournemouth. Like, it's at home. They could really solidify. I mean, they need this. They need 3 points. They're going to go out. They're not going to play games. So, yeah, for me, I feel like it's a 4-0 type game. But even Arsenal's team total over 2.5 is like minus 140, which has 0 value for me. But so right now, nothing in this game.
I think one of the things that has made me laugh the most over the course of the season is looking at people take both teams to score in Arsenal games, especially games at home, because they're just like, the odds are so good on this. Like, there's great value here. And I'm just like, have you watched Arsenal play at home? Because we don't concede at home. And I'm just like, the odds might make sense. You might see value here, but like, just accept the fact. I mean, there have been the amount of times, and I'm upset with myself for not trusting Arsenal more. But the amount of times that I've seen both teams to score no at like minus 120 for an Arsenal home game, and I've been like, we're Arsenal. We're probably going to fuck up and make a stupid mistake here. Like, as a fan, letting my bias against my own club cloud me, and then we win like 5 or 6-0. And I'm just like, fucking, I should have trusted us. Like, our defense is good. So I wish I had the receipts of the both teams to score no that I've taken over like several games to say no, like don't fuck with us. Arsenal keep clean sheets at home, which we
Sam,
do.
I hate to cut you off, man.
No,
I think
do
you're
it.
getting. I think you're getting a little too hype. Arsenal have kept 2 clean sheets in their last like 6 or 7 home matches.
What? That can't be true.
They kept a clean sheet against Chelsea, didn't keep a clean sheet against Villa, kept a clean sheet against Luton, didn't keep a clean sheet against Brentford, Newcastle, or Liverpool.
Newcastle was dumb. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Nah, good point, Brad. Good point. Alrighty, I'll get off my soapbox. And if you wanna bet both teams to score in this game, then I won't stop you. I won't shame you.
I mean,
That
I'm
being
getting
said-
plus one. I'm getting plus 152, so it's worth the cost of admission for me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, I'll take a step back. I'll take the Arsenal glasses off. That's you've got me there. That's fair enough.
Those tequila shots pre-pod are really kicking in.
Oh yeah, really, yeah, absolutely.
This is just one of those situations where, like Arsenal have the freaking best defense in the Premier League. You just wonder if the nerves are gonna get to them a little bit. Like all it takes is one mistake against a team like Bournemouth to. It's not like saying they're gonna concede multiple goals. I just need one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's like the worst thing about Arsenal is whenever we lose, it's very rarely this season that we've been outclassed. It's usually that we are our own enemy.
Yeah.
Like Bayern, like first leg of the Champions League, Bayern, 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Play against Spurs, 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Like It's just like we give up so many stupid chances, whether it's a pen, whether it's a stupid giveaway, and it's always just like we limit the chances. We stop them from scoring for most of the game, but when we fuck up, it's usually we fuck up pretty badly, and it usually results in a goal, which is annoying. But enough about Arsenal. Let's move on. We have a much more interesting relegation battle between Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest. Now, unfortunately, Sheffield have gone down. Sucks to suck. Welcome to the championship, buddy. That being said, Nottingham Forest still have a lot to fight for. Forest are just clear of Luton, but they have to play Sheffield in Sheffield, and this is Sheffield's first game playing as a relegated club, and this is when you have to ask yourself the question that we usually ask ourselves every season. Are they going to roll over, accept their fate, and just die? Or are they going to try and go out with pride? So we'll see, because this on paper should be a good game, at least in my opinion.
The problem is that their defense is so bad. I think that Chris Wilder is not going to run the back 5. Like now they're relegated, they're going to run that back 4, and I think it's going to just expose the crap out of them. But from a prop perspective, I love it. I desperately need Forest to win this match because I have a very heavy bet on Luton Town to get relegated. So this one for me will just be me sweating my balls off the whole time.
I don't want to root against you, but I would just love Luton to stay in the Premier League just because I respect their efforts of just going balls to the wall. We will score even if we concede 3 goals in every single game. Like, they're just so much fun to bet on, and I don't view Forest in that same way. Although, to be fair, Forest games are interesting, but if Gibbs White leaves, then I no longer find them interesting anymore. So I want Luton to stay up. But if they go down, then I'll at least be happy for you, Brad.
Like, it's funny because, I mean, like, even playing, like, seeing matches at Kenilworth Road's been pretty amazing, right? Like, it's been fun to see that kind of environment. We needed that, so.
Yeah, I think for this match, I was leaning the over 3 at pretty much even money. I was seeing it at. If Sheffield roll over, I feel like Forest could score multiple. I mean, Sheffield's defense is just horrendous. 1 clean sheet all season. I think they haven't kept a clean sheet in 16 straight now. Forest haven't kept a clean sheet.
Who the fuck didn't score against Sheffield?
It's been 16 matches, but they've only kept 1 clean sheet all season.
I need to check that shit out. Keep talking. I'm gonna look that one up because I need to know.
And then Forest haven't kept a clean sheet in 11 straight. It was Brentford. They kept a clean sheet against Sheffield at home. The Bees.
I'm not fussed about that. Fuck Brentford.
Yeah. So I mean, this could be, I mean, Forest could score 3 alone, but I feel like Sheffield's just gonna. I mean, at this point, it's just whatever. Just go for it. Just
Yep.
go out there and play, and nothing to really worry about. So I feel like they could get a goal or two, and with their fans behind them at home, I think over 3 at even money is good value.
I like that. I like that. We have Man City playing against Wolves at home. I'll be quick about this one. Give me a yes or no. If you cut through the bullshit, are City dropping points in this game? Yes or no?
No.
If NATO was playing, I would say yes,
Okay.
but I'm going to say no.
No Neto, no Nuri, no Belgrade in this match.
Yeah, too many
Noah
injuries for
Lima might
Wolves.
be out as well too.
Yeah, if they were healthy, I think they would give City a run.
I agree.
The problem
They
is the problem with their health too is like it derailed their momentum because they were playing
Oh,
so
for
good,
sure.
and then
Oh,
they got banged
100%.
up, and now they just stink.
Yeah. And then like they started to get healthy again, and then they got injured again, and then like
Yeah.
international break happened, and Hwang got hurt, and it was just like, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. Well, I'm glad we're kind of in agreement there because I want some glimmer of hope that Wolves get a result, but I'm going to be like that for the next 3 or 4 games. So, it is
I'm
what
gonna
it is.
I'm gonna put this out there. I did have a buddy of mine text me and saying that he is taking Wolves money line. Just
Okay.
saying he's saying he's got a feeling, and he's saying he's taking Wolves money line at like 2,500. I'm like,
That's
good
nice.
luck.
That's nice.
Good luck.
I can give
I
him
have to put it out there. I have to put it out there
You have
just
to.
in case it does happen.
No,
You
fair
have
enough.
to.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I want your friend to know that I can give him my Cash App if he's interested in making donations.
Oh, I already told him. Yeah, I sent him my Venmo. I was like, you might as well just send me that $100, bro.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Next game I want to talk about, and this one's interesting, is Chelsea against West Ham. Now, initially, I was just like, okay, this is a massive battle of like mid teams. Both of them are out of form right now. Then I checked the league table after Chelsea beat Spurs. Do you know how close Chelsea are to a spot in European competition? They're 3 points. They're 3 points behind Man U. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. So, like, I have been saying for the past few weeks, Chelsea have nothing to play for. They're Cole Palmer chasing the golden boot. Now, I can't even say that because Chelsea are a win, a singular win behind the Conference League, which, to be fair, is not this great grand competition. But considering they were going to finish in the bottom half as of a month ago, Man U have sucked recently, and Chelsea have pulled off a good result against Spurs. And with Cole Palmer in the side, they look somewhat competent. So 3 points behind Man U going into a game at home against West Ham. How do we feel about this one?
Crazy, because before the West Ham game, before the Tottenham game, they were like minus 140. Now they're minus 155 instantly. I think they win,
worse.
but
it's like almost minus 170 now. I checked.
Really? Holy crap.
It's crazy. I was just like, yo, Chelsea, are they this good? Are they this good?
Oh my God. I think they win. I would probably take them to win and both teams to score, but this is the London derby, I think West Ham beat them on the break pretty bad last time they played, but if I remember correctly, Cole Palmer didn't play in that match, and he obviously is the difference maker for that team.
Yeah, this one, first of all, we'll just say fuck Spurs for what they did today.
Oh
Second of all, I feel like I want to take the over again in this Chelsea match because, I say this all the time. I think West Ham have a ton of skill, and this should be a very entertaining matchup. I was kind of leaning the over 3.25 at almost even money, or like minus 110. I think I saw it at. So I'm gonna wait for lineups. I'm sure it'll be just what I'm thinking, but that's kind of where I'm leaning. And obviously Chelsea keeping the clean sheet today scares me away a little bit from it. But Spurs just fumbled the bag today and just missed so many chances. So, Spurs were Spurs today, and they just
Yeah,
I just think West Ham have more skill than them, and can won't miss those chances.
West Ham are they're good at doing a lot with a little. Like,
Yes,
they're really efficient when they get their opportunities and they convert them.
yes, and Chelsea's defense isn't good. I mean, it
Not at
just
all.
isn't. No. So for them to keep the clean sheet today was just not something I had on my bingo card.
Either. Me either.
I didn't bet it, but I noticed that both teams to score was like the most, like it was like the shortest odds for both teams to score in the entire like season so far in the Premier League, and I was just like, what if I bet no? What if I bet no at like plus 200 as Spurs going to
Oh,
score? And I
Did you?
didn't. No, I
Oh, I
didn't.
was
I
gonna
wish I
say,
did.
did
It
you
was so
like
funny.
mush? Did you mush us all by
I
doing
thought
that?
about it. No, I thought I
My
thought
God.
about it, but I didn't. So no mushing
Just go,
involved. No mushing involved.
just go against us. That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Well, we do have another interesting game. Speaking of Spurs, we have Liverpool at Anfield against Spurs. Now, my Chelsea against West Ham, where I said battle of the mid, maybe not so now going into this game. I think we can all agree Liverpool against Spurs may be battle of the mid. Both teams in fucking dog shit form right now, and they play against each other. Liverpool are technically still in the title race, but not really. Spurs are just about pushing for top four now that they know for a fact that the Premier League is not getting that fifth spot in the Champions League. It's going to Germany and Italy. So Spurs need top four to get Champions League, and they have to go and get a result at Anfield.
there was a time not too long ago when when there were legitimate Spurs fans talking about throwing this game. They want their team to throw this game so Liverpool could win the title and Arsenal could not. How things have changed so fast. Now Spurs desperately need to win this game, and Liverpool's out of the title race.
It's crazy.
Oh, I'm glad you brought this game up because I love it. We beat Spurs. We beat Spurs in their own fucking backyard. They've been whining about the refs. Hilarious, by the way, because people were saying going in, Arsenal fans are going to probably complain about the refs in this game because it's a derby game and someone's going to get a penalty. And I just find it really funny that the Spurs fans are the one who have been complaining about the refs. And, oh, wow, look at that. They've been saying on Twitter, oh, we should play our reserve team against City so Arsenal don't win the league. Bold of you to assume you could beat City otherwise, you fucking inbred pieces of shit. Sorry, go on, guys.
Sorry for cussing. So for this match, I kind of lean Spurs team total over 1.5 at plus 150. It's like the only value I could really find. And I gotta expect better from them in this match. And I don't trust Liverpool. I don't trust them versus anyone. Or I don't trust any of their lines or anything. I want nothing to do with them. And I don't know. I just feel like Spurs have got to come out better than they did today versus Chelsea. And I would expect something fierce from them in this one. And for them to score 2 against a Liverpool side who's been struggling at the back, just struggling all around. Their confidence is low. Salah and Klopp are going at it, and who knows what's going on in the locker room. It just seems like a complete mess. So at plus 150 for Spurs to score 2, I think I'm going to go with that.
Okay, hear me out. I know you don't like betting unders, but just walk with me down this path.
By principle, you have to bet the under in this. 4 goals.
The total is just huge.
The line for total goals is 3.5. And now typically when the total is bumped up to 3.5, the under gets juiced and the over is usually plus money. Under 3.5 total goals in this game on FanDuel is plus 116. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Like, you could use under 4.5 goals at minus 205 as a builder piece for there not to be 5 goals. That's a lot of goals. And we're talking about 2 teams that, yes, they can't defend, but can they score for shit? No, they can't. These teams just so bad at converting their chances right now. Under 3.5 goals at plus money, I think this might be the first time I've seen under 3.5 goals at plus money in any
Crazy.
game this entire season.
It worries me because they're going to get chances. So
Yes,
it's like, do you want
I
to bet?
agree.
Do you want to bet against them just continuing to miss the chances? Because if you go back and look at the
Yes,
games, that the XG is just crazy. I mean, it's
I
like
agree.
2
Everything
XG
you're
for
saying,
Liverpool scores
I agree
0.
with.
Today Spurs had a 1.7 XG, 0 goals.
Yep.
So like the chances are there. It's hard for me to think that, okay, here I am. I'm just going to bet the under, go against the fact that there's probably going to be 6 or 7 big chances between the
Yeah.
two sides, and
Now, who's taking those
we're
big
just gonna
chances?
we're gonna just cross our fingers, close our eyes, and hope that they don't capitalize on those chances. Like I could see a freaking
Yes.
3-3 type game here.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree. I could also see a 3-3 type game here. But you know who's taking those big chances? Darwin Núñez and Richarlison.
Yeah.
Like,
I,
we're
I
talking
get
like,
I get both sides of the coin.
yeah,
I
I
also think
just think
Spurs lineup
for
today, they're starting like Madison didn't start. There are a couple of people that they didn't start that I was just questioning the
you know
starting
why?
11, but
Because Madison sucks. Can we
Madison
just
has
put
not
to
been
bed?
good
Can
recently.
we put, can we,
he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't been good recently. He doesn't suck. He just hasn't. He's out of
I think
form
it's
right now.
I think it's
he's
because
been
coming back from
hurt.
the injury.
He's
Yeah,
It's
been
hard to
hurt.
come back from an injury. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But can we put to bed the whole Madison is greater than Odegaard debate?
Oh my
God,
god,
the
here we
amount of
go.
tweets I could dig up from the beginning of the season when Spurs said they were going for a title, they were pushing for a title charge, Ange was better than Arteta, Odegaard wasn't as good as Madison. Oh God, I mean, I could dig for tweets for days. Only a number of stupid shit I saw back in August and September. My goodness, this Spurs team has fallen off. I mean,
I
they were
mean, yeah, I
pushing.
mean, yeah. They start. I mean, they started the season red hot.
Yeah,
I mean, Madison was just looked
yeah.
incredible to start the season. Then he got injured and just hasn't been the same since.
I just find it so funny that they said they were pushing for a title, and then when Madison got injured, they said, okay, maybe the form's cooled off. At minimum, we have to make Champions League. And you know what's going to happen? They're not going to make Champions League. And that is, that is gold dust to an Arsenal fan. God, I love it. I love it. This team is so fucking mid. It makes me so happy. It's beautiful.
Oh my
We need
god.
we need
Beautiful.
spicy Sam more often.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god.
It's
So funny.
But the last Premier League game that we have to talk about is the Monday kickoff. It is Crystal Palace against Man U. Now, otherwise, I would say, not sure how I feel about this game. But Man U now do not have a spot in Europe wrapped up. They are being chased by Newcastle. They're being chased by Chelsea somehow. And Crystal Palace are actually a decent team. I was just talking about this in the Discord because Crystal Palace are about to set like a ridiculous record for the consecutive seasons finishing on points between 40 points and 49 points. Like they are the definition of a mid-table club. But I was saying if they brought in their new manager and if Elise and Eze were healthy this entire season, I could see this Palace team pushing for a spot in Europe. They're going to end up mid-table. They're not going to get anything. They're not going to go down. They're not going to gain anything. But I have a sad feeling for this Palace team that they're not going to be able to keep on to Eze and Elise this summer.
Not a
There have been
chance.
lots of rumors connecting these guys elsewhere. But now they're playing at home against a Man U team that's desperate for a win to hold on to whatever spot in Europe they can get. So how is this game going to go?
United lose this game.
Nice.
Crystal Palace score twice. We talk about this time and time again. This is a team that you want to fade on the road in United. They allow the second most shots in the Premier League, technically tied for first with Luton Town on the road. 20 shots per match. I took Olise 2+ shots in the first half at -105. It's my best bet. He's hit this in every game that he's been healthy since he's came back. And actually, I just want to tell you about this. This is kind of crazy. since Glasner took over, the home matches, the first half shots that Crystal Palace have taken 6, 9, 3, but that was against City, 13 and 9. And those were the matches since he took over their first halves.
I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be lineup depending for me in this match because I want to see if Eze does play. He's doubtful, but I want to see if he does at least maybe make it to the bench. Bruno is doubtful for this game for United, which would be huge for them. That'd be a huge miss for them. I lean Palace team total over 1.5 at like -110. I just think that's for them at home. I mean, especially if Eze is at least on the bench or if he starts, I mean, that's a no-brainer bet for me with him and Elise. So, yeah, I lean Palace in this one all day, especially if Bruno's not playing for United. He's pretty much the man in the middle for them. And if he's not there and no Rashford and, they're a mess.
Fair enough. If Bruno doesn't play, that almost certainly means McTominay plays at attacking mid with shots priced as a defensive mid. So if that happens, give me those first half shots as McTominay.
Yeah, he'll be firing away. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be the only upside. Outside of that, if Bruno doesn't play, oh God, let's go Palace. But
It'd definitely be Palace.
That leads us very nicely into our best bets. Now, Brad has given us a slight preview. Brad has said that his best bet for this weekend is at least 2 first half shots. So I will hand it over to Mr. Betting the Pitch. What is your best bet for this weekend?
So I actually couldn't find anything in Europe that I just loved. So we're going to MLS.
Yes.
We're going to MLS, one of my favorites. It's going to be a Saturday match. Inter Miami at home versus the Red Bulls. I'm going over 3 at +105. Red Bulls are actually having a decent season. They sit third in the table. Away from home, they've scored 7 goals in 6 games, have conceded 8. And Miami home matches are just a goal fest. They've scored 15 goals in 6 matches at home and have conceded 7. Messi and company just at home are almost a lock for at least 2 goals. And I don't see them keeping the Red Bulls off the score sheet in this one. So over 3 goals minimum in this match just seems like a given. But yeah, at plus money, that's my best bet for this week.
I love that a lot. Now I'm hands up. Mine is vaguely contingent, so I apologize for that in advance. But this bet has cashed me a lot recently, and it is Kevin De Bruyne 3 first half shots.
Ooh.
It is currently priced at +380, which has come down from where it was a week ago. I have been hitting it at +500, but this is very contingent on Haaland not playing. If Haaland starts for City, that really throws everything off because all the volume of attack goes towards him and he takes so many shots and the odds reflect that. So his odds aren't brilliant. But if Haaland sits, then we see a ton of value on guys like De Bruyne, on Alvarez and Foden. Now, Alvarez didn't really shoot much the last time Haaland was out. In fact, all I needed from him for a builder was a single shot in the first half, which he didn't get. That pissed me off. But in that same game, De Bruyne took 4 shots in the first half. So, if Haaland does not play against Wolves, De Bruyne 3 first half shots at +380. I wouldn't go more than half a unit on that. But if that happens, if Haaland is on the bench and De Bruyne is starting, then I really like that at that price. For half a unit, that is my play of the week. If he starts, scratch that. I'm fine sitting out for a week. But given those circumstances, he has been absolutely cooking recently as the attacking mid. So that's
a sexy little play there.
It is, right? Yeah, it's got a little juice to it. So those are our best bets from Brad. Elise 2 first half shots from Mr. Betting the Pitch, Miami and New York Red Bulls over 3 at +105. And for me, if Haaland does not start against Wolves, then De Bruyne 3 first half shots for half a unit max at +380. Now, We've been doing well with our goal scorer parlay, so I think it's only makes sense that we round off the episode with that. Last week, we had Bruno, Isak, and Ollie Watkins. Bruno scored, Isak scored. Sadly, Ollie Watkins did not score against Chelsea somehow. I don't know how he didn't score because Villa were playing really well. But at the end of the day, Chelsea almost were the team that got robbed.
God.
It was a weird game. It was a very weird game. But look, we've had a pretty perfect record with our best bets and our goal scorers. So you can forgive us for not having Ollie Watkins score. If you took the other two goal scorers as straight bets, you'd have profited. So, it is what it is. Forgive us and move on. We've been doing pretty well. But let's do our best goal scorers for this upcoming weekend. I'll go first. Wood against Sheffield. I've said this before. It was my backing behind Isak for Newcastle against Sheffield. Sheffield have an absolute smash spot against strikers. Forest play against Sheffield. Sheffield are down. Forest still have everything to play for. So if Mr. Wood starts up top for Forest, then I like him to get a goal.
I went with Cole Palmer. The total set at 3.25. Cole Palmer probably should have had one today in their Thursday action.
Yeah.
He hit the crossbar on a beautiful strike. I don't think he's set off. I don't think he's let out of the back of the net in back-to-back matches, especially not against a West Ham side playing at the Bridge.
I can't believe I'm picking this guy because I have roasted him for so long. And I've called him overrated and everything else, but he's in very good form right now. I expect them to score 3+ goals in this match, and if he's playing striker, I'm going to go with Kai Havertz at plus 135 for Arsenal. He started back-to-back games. The past 3 games, he's just looked like a totally different player. His confidence is there. It's hard not to play him right now with the spot that they're in at home, where I think they're going to score multiple goals and where Arsenal are fighting for a Premier League title.
Remember at the beginning of the season when everyone said that Havertz, there were people putting Havertz as
let's face it, he was missing sitters all season. And he looked all season. Yes, he looked lost out there, Sam.
2 months.
Don't even at me right
max.
now.
2 months max. There were people in September putting Havertz to Arsenal in the top 5 worst Premier League transfers of all time. That is stupid. It had been a month. Was he slow to start? Yes. I understand we gifted him that penalty. I believe it was against Bournemouth when we were winning 2 or 3-0, and we said, have a penalty, get your confidence back. But since then, he's been cooking. And
he has. That's why I want to play him. I want to play the hot hand right now. So that's definitely why I'm playing him. But holy shit, beginning of the season, I'll raise my hand and point to myself. I was definitely one of those guys completely roasting him. He was missing sitters. Wide open
he
nets.
Was playing most of the season at the beginning of the season.
He
was playing centre mid, baby. He was playing centre mid, and then when Arteta moved him to striker, you know what happened? Started scoring goals. Oh, it's funny how that happens, isn't it? Really, really funny how that happens when you play.
Well, as long as he scores this weekend for me, then I'll be happy.
That'd be great. You know what? I would love it if he does too. But yeah, those are our best goal scorers. Cole Palmer against West Ham, Kai Havertz against Bournemouth, and Mr. Big Wood himself against Sheffield. And that wraps us up very nicely. Shout out to the Gold Boys Network for hosting this podcast. Shout out to my beautiful, gorgeous co-hosts, MrBradThomas and Betting the Pitch. It's been a week since we recorded an episode. We're very glad to be back. Looking forward to this upcoming slate of soccer action. Boys, is there anything you want to plug before we hang up on this wonderful evening?
Yeah, just go ahead and check me out on X at MrBradThomas, and all of my soccer plays and everything are not only in Gold Boys, but they're on NBCSports.com.
Follow us all on X. I am betting the pitch, and you can find all my plays at Go Boys Discord, and I do give out free plays. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just love talking footy. I just love it, and I love betting on it. It's just the best sport to bet on, in my opinion.
God, it's gorgeous. I love being able to really speak my mind as an Arsenal fan. It really makes me happy. But enough about that now.
I wonder how many listeners we lose due to you talking about Arsenal for 30 minutes out of the hour that we're here.
God, I hope it's not that many, because
I'm kidding.
I also wonder how many followers on Twitter I lose when I complain about Opta not giving blatant shots. But sometimes the truth has to be spoken. But that brings us to the end of this episode. As always, it's been your boy Sam, aka FIFA Brit. Shout out to my co-hosts, MrBradThomas and Betting the Pitch. We will see you guys next week, just in time for the second legs of the Champions League. But until then, best of luck with all your bets this weekend, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Peace out, fellas. Catch you in the next one.